LeBron James's comments, his most recent comments, which we're gonna get into that in just a second. But I wanted to kind of shed some light on here, and talk about his most recent statement that he actually made. And let me go ahead and quote. As a matter of fact, LeBron James actually, from what was said, LeBron James actually tweeted this. He created a tweet, then he deleted it, and then he created it again. So that goes to show you LeBron knows exactly what the hell he's doing. I don't care what nobody says. We're gonna get that in a second. But let's talk about LeBron James' most recent comments that he made out in the media. It says, and I quote, all right, I quote directly from LeBron James's Facebook page, Instagram page, all that stuff. It says, keep talking about my squad, our personnel ages, the way they play. We're past our time in this league, etc., etc., etc. Do me one favor, please. Do me one favor, please, because it's in caps, so I gotta emphasize on that. Please, and I mean, he said it again, and I mean, please keep that same narrative, energy. The words that I'm shouting are caps, so sorry. And when it begins, that's all I ask. Hashtag thank you, King.
Okay, let me just say something. I am not defending what he is saying. What I'm saying is the man been in the league since 2003, and he's been ridiculed and talked about, and people talk down on him, and people have hated him for so long. I feel that just as a person, forget basketball, forget Rich and all that, just as a person, when people keep coming at you, you do have a right to defend yourself. You do. Now, what he said was BS, but he still has that right to defend himself. I mean, you can't expect the man to be quiet forever. Like, he's been quiet and he just say subtle things, but he has a right to defend himself. I don't think he should have said anything. I just think he should have just shut up and just been focused. So I agree with you to that point, but I'm going to defend the man on his right to defend himself. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So typical Greg response. You agree?
I don't agree. I'm just saying he has a right to defend himself. If I was LeBron, shout out to Quinte, by the way. Shout out Quinte. What's up, brother? But if I was LeBron, I would have said nothing. I would have said, fuck y'all. We just gonna prove it on the court. But the man, you gotta understand, for almost 20 years, people have been talking so much shit about him. It's gonna get to anybody eventually.
Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you, bro. I just listen. Good comment, bad timing. Yeah. At the end of the day, good time. That's exactly what I meant by the whole debate that we got to.
I think that I'm sorry, bro. I think that this comment would have been more relevant in 2020 when the Lakers got Anthony. I think that would have been not this year. This is a bad time.
Right. And shout out to Quinte, shout out to Jamar, man. We have a comment here. Have y'all really thought about this? No one had anything bad to say about Bron his first 7 years. It wasn't until he became very vocal with it. Yeah, and that's when I became a anti-LeBron fan, is after the announcement.
That's not true. That's not completely true, because before he came to Miami, people like Skip Bayless and what's that other guy's name? Rob Parker.
Skip don't skip. Listen, look, Skip don't skip. You can expect that. Skip gonna skip. You feel me? Before I became an anti-LeBron fan, I was actually one of those people defending LeBron's honor and legacy, like everybody on Facebook and social media does. And I was bashing Skip Bayless as often as I can. But if I had to be completely honest, man, if you ever sat back and you just listened to some of the comments that Skip Bayless has made, which again, shout out to Skip Bayless, shout out to Shannon Sharp, shout out to Undisputed Podcast on Fox Sports 1. I don't know why I'm saying that, but just in case they ever come across this, we definitely want to acknowledge y'all, man.
Yeah,
y'all are great. Y'all are great what y'all do. But yeah, man, because you know, LeBron brings these things on himself, in my opinion. It's like I said, I don't have a problem with his comments, to be honest with you. Like, I don't. Like you said, he's a grown ass man. Nobody can tell LeBron James what to do. Like I said, he's earned that right in terms of just longevity, not just his success or anything like that. Just being in the league, as long as he's been in the league, he's earned that right to talk, to say what he wants to say. I'm just saying that the timing of it is just not necessary. You got to remember, we're not even 2 weeks removed from the NBA Finals. Right now, the only thing that we need to be talking about is the NBA offseason. which again, this is off-season related, but it's just the way that LeBron went about his comments. Like
but you know what? It could be another, because it's not just about LeBron. He's probably also defending Westbrook, because people come at Westbrook hard too, saying that he's not a winner. So LeBron also defends.
But if you look at, but that's the case.
Westbrook.
Nah, I don't think it got anything to do with Westbrook.
You don't think so?
Okay. Nah, because we know what the reputation of Westbrook is. Westbrook gonna speak for his damn self. So Westbrook don't need LeBron speaking for him. One thing about Westbrook,
but he's still gonna have his back.
Yeah, but that's just LeBron. That's LeBron. Like, don't get it twisted. Like I said, I'm going to acknowledge LeBron's greatness. LeBron is good at defending his people when the time comes. But again, this isn't the time for that, bro. At the end of the day, the Los Angeles Lakers just lost 4-2 in the first round, which is unprecedented for LeBron James, period. LeBron James has never been eliminated in the first round ever in life. So you should treat this situation exactly as such. You got eliminated, excuse my language, keep your mouth closed, move on to the next thing, work hard. You don't see guys, even Anthony Davis, a lot of imagine the criticism Anthony Davis got throughout the year. You don't see Anthony Davis on social media right now critiquing and trying to comment on everything. Like, Anthony Davis in the gym working. I don't know if you've seen in his last workout. I've been following him on Instagram and YouTube. Bro, he is killing it in the gym right now. He is killing it. I think the criticism of LeBron is too much. I mean, of course. Okay, we agree with you there, Quincy. I even agree with you. Of course, the criticism is too much.
Let me just make a point to that, because
go ahead.
These fools on Facebook, they're so ridiculous, man. They said that LeBron has always been a villain. So I gave a point. I was like, so LeBron's a villain for leaving Cleveland, a racist owner. Your teammate tried or did sleep with your mother. You keep losing in the playoffs. LeBron's a villain for choosing Florida over Ohio and playing basketball with his best friend. That's why LeBron's a villain. That makes no sense. I don't understand that. LeBron was not in the wrong of the choice of leaving Cleveland. LeBron was in the wrong of doing that whole, performance. But as far as the act of leaving Cleveland for Miami, he was not in the wrong at all.
Right. And which, as Jamar states here, I love it, because now he has to live up to his own expectations. So fans, please, in June, don't say he didn't have any. Yeah, I agree. To me, it just puts a target on his back. It makes it. And here's the thing about LeBron. Whenever LeBron James has come out and publicly, he doesn't. Let's just say this. Anytime LeBron comes out and publicly says something, normally it backfires. Like the whole situation that happened when he got into LA. Well, we'll start with the Miami Heat thing. We'll start with that. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. You know that whole spill. That didn't work out. Which I still say, I don't care what anybody says. That Miami Heat run was a failure, in my honest opinion.
It was not a failure.
My opinion, it was a failure.
They went to the finals 4 years in a row. Every year they didn't win, and they won 2. That wasn't a failure. Stop. You don't
go to the finals 4 years in a row with the players that they had, with the players that they had. You don't go to the finals 4 years in a row.
Hey, listen, as great as Golden State was in those 5 years run, they didn't win all 5 years. They only won 3. You're not going to win every year. It happens. Right. I don't think it was a failure. I think the
only reason I'm calling it a failure is the simple fact that.
How you think that was a failure? Go ahead.
No, because we have to remember how terrible LeBron James played in that 2011 NBA Finals. And again, I know it's beating a dead horse. But that's how monumental and how terrible his finals performance was.
But that was all mental. That wasn't skill. Mentally, he just wasn't there, and he just choked. I agree, but the man came back and bounced back in those 2012 playoffs.
Right, 2012, 2013. They went back to back. Listen, they went back to back. They who's the 2013 championship one against? Was that the Spurs?
That was the Spurs. They played the Spurs twice. Yeah,
they played the Spurs twice. So listen, again, all I'm saying is with the type of players that they had on that roster was like Jamar just said, the two and two lost to Dallas with old guys, and they lost to an old ass Spurs team. I agree with that. Both the teams that they lost to in that finals run, those 4 years, technically the Miami Heat were skillfully and athletically a lot better.
Not 2014. Not 2014.
Are
if
you
go
serious?
back and listen, let me explain, brother. Let me explain.
Remember, one second. 2014, the Miami Heat almost set the NBA record for the most consecutive wins.
No, that was 2013, but that was the year before. They won 27 games. Listen, in
I
2013,
thought that was
Wade and
14.
no, that was 13. I'm
Okay,
telling you, it was
we'll check
13.
it. No, we'll fact check it.
Wade and Bosh, or not Bosh, but Wade was very injured that year. He missed about 25 games. He wasn't as healthy. That Spurs team, what happened the previous year is they put the ball in Tony Parker's hands, and they used to trap Tony Parker at the wing. What the Spurs did to adjust is that they had the ball movement. So when they double teamed, somebody was open. The Spurs were just better than the Heat the following year. That's all. It wasn't.
I don't think on any level.
You got to watch the game, brother. You got to watch the game. The Spurs
No,
were a great team in 2014.
Listen to me. I'm gonna tell you like this. There was no bigger Miami Heat hater during that stretch, and I'm pretty sure Jamar Carter, which is my buddy of mine, can probably vouch for me here because I don't think you and I were acquainted at that time. But my buddy here, Jamar Carter, can attest. I was probably the biggest Miami Heat hater during that stretch. I paid a lot of attention to that. This is why I said I feel like my comments are valid. At the end of the day, you still expected to see LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh get the job done. At the end of the day, these are players. The three players in the top 5 picks of their draft coming together on one team.
If you actually watch the game of basketball and watch the game, the Spurs were a better team. They went through those 2014 playoffs and just dominated everybody except the Mavericks. They dominated OKC. They dominated Heat. That team was one of the best teams I've ever seen as far as the ball movement, how they play defense. That
right,
Spurs
but
team
we're talking.
too good.
We're talking. At the end of the day, though, when you go to a team and you say, "All right, the team was better," got it. But we're talking about the actual players, not a team. There's no way that I guarantee you, if you had to go back and pick that again, 9 out of 10 of the times, people are going to take that Miami Heat team over the Spurs every single time.
Even as a Heat fan, I thought, we in trouble. After that first game, we in trouble. The greatness of LeBron, they were able to win one game. But if you watch game 3 and game 4, the Spurs, that ball movement, man, they couldn't stop them. The Heat just could not stop them. That Spurs team was just too good.
Nah for the bay. Nah for the bay. We don't care what you say. Nah for the bay. Nah for the bay. Nah for the bay. We ain't hearing what you say. Is not for the bay. Fire!